G'day, and welcome back to that new hobby high, Ultramarines from scratch. It's basically a channel about me learning the Horus Heresy and all its ins and outs and all its story goodness and all its gaming fantasticness and all of its awesomeness. So, yeah, basically new to it. But today is not a day for going on about what I've learned. Today is a day of speaking about last Saturday's tournament, just 4 days ago. We all had a 900-point tournament at Beyond Odyssey, and it was magnificent. I've been looking forward to it for yonks, and I've got a little paperwork here. Everything's still in focus, good. So that was what we went to, Beyond Odyssey, Beyond Gods. And it was freaking absolutely brilliant. It was about 16 people, I think, all up, all different types of freaking armies, and everyone just up there to have a good time and play well, and just, oh, it was fucking so fucking good. It was so good. I got overly excited during it, and I recorded some bits, and I've put together a bit of a mishmash of what I could salvage out of my fucking videos, because I got too excited during most of my games, and I couldn't, for the life of me, remember to actually film, the middle, the end, or bits and pieces of it. So I've got a mishmash of my own games. But what I'm really sad about is because I was playing my own games. I didn't get to take any of the other videos of any of the other fucking amazing mashups, because you hear like stories. I had this group of bloody what's the yellow ones? Imperial Fists, and they freaking held off some Iron Warriors for freaking 3 turns, and this dead shot wiped out an entire unit over here. Oh, fucking hell. I need to get either more cameras for things like this, to get like little snippets of other games, or, well, actually, I can't think of a second. I'm just going to have to do that, because all I've got is my perspective in these videos, and that is fucking hodgepodge and bits and bobs, because I got excited and, I was enjoying myself too much, and you get carried away. You're in the moment. You don't pick up the camera so much as you play, and that's what I was doing. But so I'll go through. I'll play this. This is the intro. This is me coming into the building all freaking happy and freaking Larry and keen as fucking mustard, and selection of the armies that were put up on display, the armies that were playing on this game day. Have a quick look, and then I'll go through each of the games. I'll talk a little bit about them and show you what little video I've got of them. Anyway, have a quick look at this, and yeah, fucking, it was such a good thing. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Loved it so much. I'm glad I got the time to actually do it. And I must thank my lovely, lovely, beautiful, amazing wife for letting me have the day off to go and play. She took care of the bubs the entire day and let me go out and have some fun with the boys. And I really appreciate it, love. I really, really do. Anyway, have a look at this video. This is the intro and the Cavalcade of Colour, which is the armies that are on display at Beyond Odyssey's Beyond Gods Horus Heresy event. Check it out. Right, here we are at Beyond Odyssey, ready for a brand new tournament. And you can't actually see it because I'm holding the camera, but I'm skipping like a little girl. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy, happy, happy. Walking in the front, and yeah, round to the table room at the back. And look at them, they're all set up, ready to go. And yeah, I got in early to get a few filmings of the actual empty tables, just to show you how Mickey Mouse they were. So table 1 and 2, I played a game on table 2 games on table 2 myself. But each one had a different theme and had a very, very different feel to it, from like wrecked, bombed out ruins, which was your standard, to old chapels. I played against the Ultramarines on this one. That was a great table. It was good. Everything was set up nicely. Tables were numbered. It was fantastic. Everything looked so clean too. It was yeah, it was just well worth going to. Fucking right, let's do the showcase. We'll start off with Mark's Custodes, the Golden Boys. You only had like 15 fucking miniatures on the table, but Jesus, each one of them must have packed a fucking punch for him to freaking hold his weight against the 60 strong bloody units that were freaking on the table. I reckon they look Mickey Mouse. Next up, we've got Ties, Alpha Legion and Demons, the sneaky buggers with the Red Bully Boys. Yeah, they were fucking amazing. My first game was against him. He literally picked up a unit and said, no, you're not shooting them, and moved them somewhere else. And like pulled demons, summoned demons, and they popped up and charged, and it was horrible. Luckily, I didn't have to fight Samus. Next up, we have Oliver's, and he's fielding Peter Turbo's finest. He's got an extra Spartan there from the last game. And, I fucking reckon they look great. They're just so hard. There's those sneaky bloody las cannon snipers. Fucking good army. Next up is Joseph with his Wall of Dready Death for the Sons of Horus. This chap won the painting competition last time. And, he did not disappoint with these extra units. They look fucking marvellous, don't they? I mean, just stand back and have a look. That's fucking gold. Following that is Steve's Death Guard. Now, he won the painting competition with this army, and fucking didn't he just deserve it? I mean, they look dirty, they look grimy, but you get in close and you have a look, and they're all fucking clean and like they got they're a spectacle to look at, and it was a well-deserved win on the painting with those ones, you know. Next is the Imperial Fist from Tom's. I don't know what the guns that Contemptor had, but I think they're the ones that slung out blind left, right, and centre. And by the accounts I heard, these were very fucking difficult to shift and just soaked up punishment like a sponge. But fucking they look marvellous. Yellow is such a fucking standout, attractive colour on the tabletop. Next up is Tom's Iron Hands, and he approached his list building with the idea of, you know what I need when I've got a lot of breaches? I need more fucking breaches, and he got more fucking breaches. Look at it. Oh, and a Volkite Spew and Contemptor. Just how the fuck do you shift that off an objective? They're all got grav guns, all the special weapons, a couple of thunder hammers in there, but how do you move so many shields? The other freaking Iron Hands was John's, and he had a group of, I think they were Medusan Immortals with power axes, a Leviathan and a fucking Spartan, but went back to breaches, like 3 units of 10 breaches. I mean, apparently Iron Hands just love those fucking shields. But look at them. Oh, they're so nice. They're so fucking... Next up is Drew's World Eaters. Now, this was Death Incarnate. I think this army beat everything that they went up against this tournament. Drew's one of those fellas, one of those players that you just sit back and learn from as much as you fucking can when he plays you, because they just walk up the board. He tolls up the points, and the end of it, you don't know how he's done it, but he's won. And next up is mine. Put the best I could do with what I had. Like I do troop spam. I like troop spam, and I did a nice little write-up like the last one. But the next one is these fucking Night Lords. Now, I don't know the name of the chap who painted them, because I didn't get his name, but this boss went into a tournament with no line units. How much of a great effort is that? No line units and freaking into a tournament. And they look fucking great. I really like the light, and it was brilliant. Everyone did a really good job. So, it was absolutely grand. Just start to finish grand. All right, so as for the games themselves, my first one was against Ty and his Alpha Legion with demonic allies. So Samus was his warlord, and he was it was a mean looking fucking list. Samus works out, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the miniature, but bloody hell, his glutes are pretty mint for a demon. So it was War Allies and Dawn of War, which was Dawn of War. You each take a side. War Allies is 5 objectives, and you at the end of the game you get your army onto those objectives at the end of the game on a dice roll. Some of them disappear, some of them do not. It was I only have 2 line troops, so it was getting a little bit freaking. It was a little bit hairy for me at the start, especially when I shot at a group of his Invacari, which are the new ones coming out of that Clethonia book, and he goes, no, they're not. You're not shooting at them. They're over here now. So, and then he runs him back to the bloody objective, fucking camps it. Fucking hell, that was sneaky. That was really sneaky. So I friggin' ended up just, oh shit. I'll keep on shooting, do the rest of me shooting. But then this extraterrorist freaking summons a demon right in front of my lines, and then they summon like an inch, 12 inches, and they can run 12 inches, then they can charge, or it's a big attack. You're in close combat the moment they rock up on the table, but you can't intercept them. You can intercept them. So I intercepted them with absolutely everything. Shooting, quad launchers, Ultramarines special friggin' ability, bring in the friggin' Fulmataris for another shot. Then when they charged, I shot them again. I blew them all off the table before they got there. Which was, obviously must have been disappointing for the fella. But the next bit was even worse for him, I do imagine, because after that, I started targeting the next squad because I was mistakenly under the impression that every time I shot at that Invocaria, they could just disappear and, appear somewhere else. So I started laying all my shots into this big squad of troops. It had the extraterrorist in it, and I freaking wiped them out. And that included the bloke who summoned Samus, who is the warlord, so I got the fracking point for that. So, after that it was unfortunately a bit downhill for him. But, I think Ty won an award of, the best person to play, freaking sportsmanship award. He really is a good fella if you ever get to play him. He's got good knowledge, he's patient, he's really, really fucking good chap. But just didn't win for him this time. And I don't regret playing him. He was freaking fantastic. So have a look at this video. Like I said, there's not much to it because I got fucking excited, rolling dice, talking, socialising, You forget to turn your fucking camera on. So have a quick look and then we'll go on to the next battle. Okay, it's a game against Ty and his Alpha Legion and his Bully Boys. So we've got some Inductee, we've got some Tacticals with an Exorcist, and some other special, and some Assaults and some Special Terminators there, but Samus and his Bully Boys. I set up at the standard gun line, not exciting. I did win this one, but it was a brutal thing. I wasn't expecting just the demons to pop up and charge as they did. Unfortunately, I didn't record the whole game because I got excited just about here, and I got too carried away and I forgot to pick up my fucking phone. But it was Hey Ty, it was a bloody good game, and I really appreciate it, mate. I really do. So the next game was Search and Destroy Dominion against Drew and his World Eaters. Now, Drew is a fella that everyone's told me, freaking, that sitting and playing and losing against him, you'll learn more than winning against 10 other people. So he's off, because he's one of them fellas apparently that just knows all the rules backwards. He freaking, you need to roll a 4, need to roll a 2. That's this rule here, page that. Just the encyclopedia knowledge, And he was playing World Eaters. And so Search and Destroy, we end up with a sort of a offset quarter with a circle in the middle and 5 tokens. And at the end of your turn, the token, if you're on a token, you get a point. So we scatter the tokens, the game starts, and he plants 2 units on these 2 tokens, just leaves them there. And that's all he has to do, because I'm sitting there and I've got 2 bloody units that align. Fucking, I've got no... they're not fast. And all of a sudden I'm looking up and I've got this wave of white with blue shoulders led by a fucking lunatic Khan next to a chaplain fucking coming towards me, and I can't pump enough shots into the fuckers to drop them. There's 2 dreadnoughts there with twin power claws and a bloody a Land Raider with las cannons, and it's unstoppable. So after about 5 turns, I'm looking at the table going, what the fuck just happened? I've lost 13-3. My dreadnought's gone. I'm completely tabled. And I'm just looking at this bloody tower where it used to have my warlord in it. It's got Khan and a chaplain and 2 bloody elite units over here, 2 units. And I was just fucking, nothing's left of me. I go, fucking hell, what happened? Yeah, and if nothing else, it shows that I'm relying. Like I say, you learn more playing him. Then you learn more playing and losing to them than you will winning. And that's why I'm fucking painting suzerain right now, because I need something that can fucking hit back. Anyway, have a quick look at this video, and it's the one I literally filmed the least because I was too intent on what was going on in the game. I was trying to freaking absorb everything. So it's one I've videoed the least, but the most fun one was the last game. So have a look at this one, and then I'll talk about the last one. So this is what happens when you play Drew. You get into the game, I've got Khan and a chaplain where my warlord used to be. Two veterans over to the side here, still freaking on in my area. And unit up the back there soaking up victory points, and that's where my Contemptor died. It was a good game. Right, well, last one. Now, I'll try to speed this up a bit because I fucking reckon this video is going to go on at the fucking 20-minute mark and no one's going to fucking watch that. So the last one was against Christian's Ultramarines. It was Vanguard Strike where the board's at diagonals, and Shatter Strike where you got to get in the other bloke's deployment zone. And it was Ultramarines versus Ultramarines. Now, lists were fucking very fucking similar. I had a Contemptor, he had two Castaferums. I had quad launchers, he had bloody those Rhinos with little fucking rocket turrets. Where I had 2 units of 20, he had 3 units of 10 in Rhino. So it was really, 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 really balanced. And by Christ, it was a fucking bloodbath. And by far and away, as the most fun game for me that tournament. We had a little side dialogue and say, well, Ultramarines never going to punch on with each other deliberately, and neither of us wanted to play traitor. So what we'll play the game, we'll say those sneaky fucking Alpha Legion, they got into a firing exercise, a training exercise, and they replaced all our bunks with bullets. That way, no one has to be the bad guy, and we can just freaking rip into each other. Because fucking that's a fun little story to play. So we lined up. I set up my gun line, and he set up his freaking fast moving units. And we just started fucking hammering the living piss out of each other. And it was fucking atrocious. And yeah, he crept forward around. He kept on dropping templates after the Scorpius. That was what they called. Dropping fucking templates on my freaking troops, just annihilating them. Hippocrates didn't do a fucking fig's worth of shit because it was instant death for most of them. I close combated a couple of Rhinos to death, and then freaking Fulmentaris, the blokes, as they got out of it. I got the Alpha Strike with the Fulmentaris on his Fulmentaris, but his Castaferum came in and just fucking wiped out like most of my bloody quad launchers. It was fucking great. It was so much fun, and it really came down to the last roll of 2 dice, and his last squad broke, fled, and ran out of my deployment zone. And that's how I got a 2-1 victory. But honestly, we should have just called it a tie. It felt like a tie. It was a tie in all ways, shape, and form. It was such a good game. I came away from that one. I'm still fucking right now in my head running it through. I'm still fucking smiling at it. It was that good. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, I'll put it on real quick, and then I'll wrap this video up because I reckon it's getting too fucking long. Check it out. Okay, this is my 3rd game, and those sneaky Alpha Legion have replaced live ammunition in an Ultramarine live fire exercise. That's the story we came up with. So it's basically 2 very, very similar armies, where I've got quad launchers, he's got fucking Scorpiuses. Where I've got 5 Fulmentaris, he's got 5 Fulmentaris. Where I've got troops in groups of 20, he's got troops of 10 in Rhinos. It's a very even game. And it was very brutal. No holds bloody bars. Those Castaferums, for the cost and price, puck a hell of a fucking punch. And they just blew a hole in everything I had to the side. And those Scorpiuses, dropping templates like bastards, just completely wiping out my big squads. But unfortunately, I just kept on tanking, and the dice were on my side, and it ended up in a tie. It was only really sort of broken because they had to flee the field and leaving me an extra victory point. But I would call this a tie. It was a great fucking game. So good. Anyway, that was it. That was the last game. That was my experience of Beyond Odysseys, freaking Beyond Gods event. It was fucking great. The winners as they came out at the end of the day when everything was tallied up, points, freaking best paint, mixed marksmanship. So the most determined general was Kieran. Runner-up painting was yours truly, me. Sportsmanship, Ty got that one. Painting was Steve with his Death Guard, and overall winner for painting, sportsmanship, points all tallied up was John with his iron hands. But yeah, that was a fucking great day. That was a brilliant. The only thing that could have made that better is if the bar was open. But I wasn't even able to go to the bar in the afternoon because I had the day away. Well, I loved it start to finish. It was great. Nick, Beyond Odyssey crew, thank you very much for putting on a fucking amazing little tournament. I loved it. It was brilliant, and I can't wait for another one. The next one has been announced, so stay tuned for that. So back to normal, spruiking on about whatever the fuck I'm doing here, painting, and for the next couple of videos, and I'm making some progress towards the Primarch as well, to reboot day, getting him get a bit of colour on him. Anyway, love the lot of you. Give your missus a kiss. Take care of yourselves, and cheerio.